Hello, welcome everyone to the EFT tapping meeting. Today we are doing a tapping on our menstrual cycle, period, dysmenorrhea, anything connected to our periods. And if you're somebody who no longer has their period or does not have their period yet, not to worry because we will be mainly focusing on our femininity. So I will be taking support from my dear loving Louise Hay. And we'll start with, there are 3 different things she writes about her period, so I'm going to read all of them. And the first is a word that I'm not familiar with. It's called amenorrhea. The probable cause is not wanting to be a woman, dislike of the self. Affirmation, I rejoice in who I am. I am a beautiful expression of life, flowing perfectly at all times. Oh, beautiful. And then under amenorrhea, she says to check female problems and menstrual problems. There's also dysmenorrhea, which I would like to read. So let's start with dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea is period cramps. So if you're somebody who has a lot of pain on their period, this would really help, even if it's just the affirmation. Dysmenorrhea. Probable cause, anger at the self, hatred of the body or of women. Affirmation, I love my body, I love myself, I love all my cycles, all is well. And then let's do ABCD. Female problems. Oh wow, there's a long list under that, but we'll just stick to female. Probable cause for female problems, denial of the self, rejecting femininity, rejection of the feminine principle. Affirmation, I rejoice in my femaleness. I love being a woman. I love my body. And last, menstrual problems. Menstrual problems, probable cause, rejection of one's femininity. So similar to female problems. Guilt, fear, belief that the genitals are sinful or dirty. Affirmation, I accept my full power as a woman and accept all my bodily processes as normal and natural. I love and approve of myself. I actually related to that the most. Rejection of one's femininity, guilt, fear, belief that the genitals are sinful or dirty. I grew up as an Indian, and Indian culture can sometimes be oppressive towards women. Not all the time, and definitely not in today's day and age, but it sometimes still does happen. And so I face that as a woman. And I grew up believing that my genitals are sinful. So it makes sense that I grew up with a lot of dysmenorrhea or menstrual problems. However, through tapping and through healing work, mainly self-love work, I've been able to reduce my cramps by 60 to 70%. I don't need any painkiller anymore during my period. I used to need, and I don't need to be bedridden anymore during my period like I used to be. So today I can walk around, I can do things on my period. I still get some pain, but it's not as bad as before. So how I did that was love. Love towards myself and love towards my period. So I'd love to do some tapping on that today. I'll start with a prayer. Dear God, please do your will for this tapping session. Please say the words for me. Please help us release what we need to release and receive what we need to receive. Mainly, lots and lots of self-love. Please say the words for me. Please come over here and do this tapping for us. Let's start with side of hand. Even though I may have some menstrual problems, and you can replace the word menstrual to female problems, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself exactly as I was born. Even though I may have some female or menstrual problems, maybe some pain, maybe some cramps, maybe just hatred, I still deeply and completely choose to give my feminine side so much love, so much acceptance. Even though I may have some menstrual problems, possibly caused by hatred towards the self, hatred towards my femininity, maybe even hatred towards my private parts or genitals, I still deeply and completely choose to love, honor, and accept myself. And I allow forgiveness for myself, for my body, and for anyone and everyone who made me believe I needed to hate myself. Eyebrow. Oh, menstrual problems. Side of eye. Female problems. Under eye. What does that mean to me? Under nose. What does female problems mean to me? Under lip. Do I hate being a woman? Collarbone. Do I wish I were someone else? Side of chest. Do I believe my natural body may be sinful? Top of head. What does having female problems mean to me? Eyebrow. Do I face dysmenorrhea? Meaning lots of pain and cramps during my period? Do I hate having my period? Have I been programmed to believe that my period is a curse? Have I been programmed to believe that I need to reject myself because I'm a woman? I may look at my period cycles. I notice how it's been my whole life. Have they been pleasant? Or have they been a source of pain and discomfort? My period is a natural cycle. Just as the sun and the moon rotates the earth, that is a natural cycle. I mean, the earth rotates around the sun. That is a natural cycle. And I have my own natural cycle. my period, without which I could not have given birth if I have children, without which I cannot bear children if I choose to do so, without which I would not be alive this very moment. Our period that has been deemed as dirty, dirty blood. Many cultures do believe that. But I am my own individual person, and I am allowed to have my own beliefs. I am allowed to think and feel differently than my own community. And if I have any fears that I will be rejected by my community, if I choose to have my own thoughts and beliefs, then I will remember I'd rather be rejected by strangers than reject my own self. The belief that my period or I am dirty on my period. That is a programming of self-rejection. I no longer want to reject myself. What has that gotten me in my life? Painful periods, discomfort every single month, lack of connection to self, lack of connection to my femininity. My femininity holds my creative power. Rejection of myself or of my period is the rejection of my creative power. My creative power is my gift from God. And I don't want to reject a gift, especially from God. I am allowed to think differently. I am allowed to reprogram myself. Everything starts with a thought. And so if I'm facing pain around my period, that started with a thought. And maybe that thought does not even belong to me. I was not born believing I needed to reject myself. That was programmed into me. And programmings can be changed. I am allowed to change my programming. To believe that I am worthy of love on my period and off my period. In fact, I'm allowed to love my period. I'm allowed to love my blood. The blood that comes out of my vagina. The vagina that God created. God created all of my body parts. And if I'm allowed to think my eyes are beautiful, or my lips are beautiful, or my hands are powerful, then I am allowed to believe and know my vagina is beautiful too. My vagina is powerful too. Literally, life comes out of it. Babies are born from the vagina. Something so sacred and so powerful deserves all my love. And I no longer want to believe that any part of me is sinful or bad. If my one finger is bad, it affects my whole hand. I am connected everywhere. And if I can give my face love and attention, I can give my genitals love and attention too. I am allowed to embrace my femininity. I am allowed to love my blood. The next time I get my period, I allow myself to do something I may never have done yet. I will look at the blood that comes out of me, and I will thank that blood. Without that blood, there would be no life. I'm allowed to compliment my vagina. I'm allowed to look at her and say, "You are beautiful." And if this is really hard for me, if this is really uncomfortable for me, then maybe this is exactly what I need. Maybe I've been missing that connection to myself. The connection through my genitals. I choose to accept my full power as a woman. I accept all my bodily processes as normal and natural. I love and approve of myself and my genitals. I am free to love myself. I am free to embrace my femininity. Every single one on earth has both masculine and feminine sides. And I choose to embrace both of my sides. My masculine energy is important because it helps me take action. It helps me give. My feminine side is just as important. It helps me reflect and be creative. It helps me receive. I cannot give without receiving. I need both sides equally. I allow myself to embrace my femininity. And I forgive myself for ever rejecting that part of me. I did not know better. I was only acting based on my programming. That is not my fault. But it is my responsibility now to change my programming to serve me better. And loving all parts of me, all parts of my body, that will serve me better than rejecting or hating myself ever did. I release any guilt around loving myself. I release any guilt for loving my genitals. I'm allowed to have a different experience than my ancestors ever did. They were taught to hate their period. And maybe that's why I was taught to hate my period. But I have free will. And I can do whatever I want. And so I choose to love my period. Even if it's scary. Even if it's new and different. Even if it's not something lots of people do. Scientifically, my period blood is so powerful, it can literally heal my skin. I can put my period blood on my skin and wrinkles will fade away. Scars will disappear. My period blood is so powerful. And I open myself up to know more about just how powerful my period blood is. Just how powerful my femininity is. My femininity is a gift. I was born this way on purpose. A person who gets their period every month, or whenever I get it. This was God's will for me. And I choose to love this part of me. I challenge myself to see the good in my period. And as I love myself more and more, as I welcome my period with a celebration, I am more connected to myself and my authenticity. I am more connected to my power. I allow myself to celebrate my period. I forgive the past and any painful memories around my period. I forgive anyone and everyone who told me to hate my period. I pray for them so they can start loving themselves and their periods. There is nothing wrong with women having their period. Even animals get their period. It is normal and natural and beautiful. I am normal and natural and beautiful. I was created this way on purpose. I was created powerful, loving, and beautiful. And take a deep breath. And breathe out. Thank you so much. I did tapping on our period, but as you might have heard, a lot of it was accepting my feminine side, accepting myself, loving myself. So with that, a lot of our period pain and issues can and will disappear. One thing, I didn't add it in the tapping, but I would like to share one activity or something I do to help me with my period is whenever I am bleeding, and let's say I wipe, there's blood on the tissue, I will take a moment to look at the tissue and notice images. And that is how I talk to my period or how I listen to my period. And I kid you not, the images are so connected to what I'm feeling. I was really angry one time. When I saw the image of my blood, I saw fire. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling angry. My period's feeling angry. And I talked to her, and insights and pictures come into my mind as to why I'm angry or what I can do. Most of the time, especially my first blood, the first day of my period, I'll wipe and it's a heart. And I know because I welcome my period with so much love. You know, when as soon as I see my blood, I'm like, yay, congratulations, welcome. My period's name is Ruby Red. I like I liked naming her because she feels more real to me, you know, not just blood, but an actual entity, a creative feminine side of me. I welcome her. I celebrate. Congratulations, Ruby Red. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And more often than not, there's always that first blood is always a heart. Tomorrow is Diwali, and Diwali is Festival of Lights in India. So in India, we light lamps. Um, so this time, my first blood period, as I wiped, I have my period today. It was a lamp. It was literally a diya, and a diya is like an oil lamp in India. And I kid you not, it was an oil lamp in the picture. And I know this is Ruby Red saying Happy Diwali. So I really love doing this. If you would like to try it, please do it. It's life-changing. My period cramps lessened in a span of 3 months. I only had to celebrate her for 3 months before the pain was slowly going away little by little by little. I used to be bedridden on my period. I no longer am. I had to take painkillers a lot on my period. I no longer do. It's not perfect. I still get some cramps, but it's so much better than before. And the peace I have around my period, it feels good, you know? Instead of thinking, oh no, it's my period again, it's it's my period. Or Ruby Red. So thank you so much for tapping with me on our period. And I know this is a very sensitive topic, so thank you for being so brave to do this.